All right, my dears. So today we will be doing some yoga tune-up or rollers, whatever you have. And if you don't have yoga tune-up balls or a foam roller, you can use a tennis ball. You don't need to have two, you can have one. We'll spend the first part of the class kind of strengthening our glutes and hips and core, and then the second half rolling all those areas. So kind of the whole back, the neck, the upper back, the mid back, the low back is where we'll roll today. So if you can't locate, if you're watching this later at home and you can't locate anything to roll on, first half of the class is for you. All right, let's start on our backs. And as we do, we'll bend our knees, place our feet flat. We can always have our pillow under our head, making ourselves comfortable as possible. And we'll start to windshield wiper the legs a little bit here. And as you do, just noticing how the low back feels. I find this to be such a simple thing, but can be kind of a powerful thing to indicate where you're holding tension in your hips, in your low back. I remember when I was younger, I wouldn't feel anything at all here. This would feel just really good. But now as I'm aging, I feel a lot more in my hips as I start. And if I keep going for a while and the muscles start to get warm, I feel less sensation. And so that's just something to notice. And not to judge. We have this tendency to, of course, want to feel better, right? Want to do things for ourselves that make us feel better, that make us look better, all these things that have been instilled in us. But yoga is really the practice of just accepting what is true right now and noticing how it changes. And the more we can do that, hopefully the more we can age gracefully. We can go through body transitions gracefully, or transitions in general more gracefully. And then we'll slow to a stop. Right ankle, left knee, not really thread the needle. We're just holding on to that right leg so that we can guide it to and fro, right and left. Maybe even create kind of a circle here. So we're just noticing where the hips feel tight, where they feel open is usually a word we say. But, the opposite of that is closed, so that's not really a great word. Maybe the hips feel loose or tight. Just notice. We'll go the other direction. Some spots where they might feel tender, or the low back, or the knee, and just notice all of that. And then we'll switch legs and we'll rock side to side. Then we'll go in our little circles here. Notice the difference between the sides. And then the other direction. And then slow to a stop. Both of our legs will come up to the sky. Interlace the fingers behind our head. We'll point our toes here. Curl head, neck, and shoulders up and lower the legs just a little. And lift them back up. Curl up higher. Lower the legs. Lift the legs. Curl up higher. Lower the legs. Lift the legs. Curl up higher. Lower the legs. Lift the legs. Curl up higher. One more. Lower the legs. Lift the legs. Curl up higher. Place the head down and begin to draw small circles with your legs. And then medium circles. Notice, can you draw your belly in? And then large circles without kind of letting the hips go too crazy. Keeping the belly drawn in for stability. And then the other direction with large circles. Medium. And small. And then let's place the left leg down, keep the right leg up and flex through the heel now. Draw small circles with the single leg. And medium. And large. And then large the other direction. And medium. And small. And half happy baby on this right leg. We'll stretch the left leg out. Reach our left arm up overhead. Flex through the left heel. And then curl up and reach, try to touch your toe, lift that left leg. Inhale, lengthen it all down. Exhale, draw the belly in, curl up, touch your toe. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl up, touch your toe. One more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl up and touch the toe. And then lengthen and stay for a few breaths. And then we'll place that right foot down, left leg up, flex through the heel, small circles. Medium circles. Large circles. And then large circles the other direction. Medium circles. Small circles. And half happy baby on that left leg. We'll stretch our right leg long, reach our right arm up overhead, flex through the right heel. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, curl up and touch your toes or reach toward them. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl up, reach for the toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl up. One more, lengthen. And curl up, touch the toes, and then lengthen. Arm up overhead and stay a few breaths here. So we're going to do a lot of things for the outer hips today, the outer hips. Let's release and we'll come onto our right side. And we'll bring our toes up, knees together, and then bring that left hip forward. So these are clam shells. Opening the left leg, soles of the feet come together. And then close. Open. And close. Open. And close. Open. And close. Hold open and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold open. Pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold open. And then release. Now, knees are stacked. Open the knees. And then those left toes point up. Left toes point down. So knee kind of remains at the same height, and just toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down. And this one we tend to start to feel right away, yeah? So let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold up. Flex through your heel. Little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto your back. Left ankle, right knee for thread the needle. And just notice that for me, that one really isolates that outer hip, and I can feel it so much so quickly. So that's interesting. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll release that side. Come onto our left side. Knees are together, toes are up at first. We'll bring our right hip forward. Open the right knee like a clam shell and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 5, lower. 4, lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. 1, stay open. Soles of the feet are together and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold open. And pulse again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring your knees together. Open the knees. Point the right toes. Toes go up. Toes go down. Toes go up. Toes go down. Toes go up. Toes go down. Toes up. Toes down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex through your heel and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto your back. Right ankle, left knee, thread the needle. And then we'll come over onto hands and knees. We'll do some hip mobility here. So it's a donkey kick of our left leg up. Take the knee out to the left and then in toward the belly. Kick it up, out, in, up, out, in, up, out, in, and then in, out, up, in, out, up, in, out, up, in, out, up. And then bring that knee down. Second side, right heel kicks up, out, and in toward the belly. Up, out, in. Up, out, in. Up, out, in. And then in, out, up. In, out, up. In, out, onto hands and knees. Inhale into our cow shape. And exhale, cat. Stay for an inhale in cat. And exhale back to cow. Twice more. Inhale here. Exhale, cat. Inhale here. Exhale, cow. Breathe in. Exhale, cat. Breathe in. Exhale, cow. And then onto our right hand and right knee, reaching our left arm up to the sky. We'll gaze up on the inhale. Reach under our ribs on the exhale. Stay for an inhale. And then reach up. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under. Inhale here. And reach up. One more. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under. Inhale here. Exhale, reach back up. And then reach your arm alongside your ear. And reach that left leg up. Draw your belly in. Maybe close your eyes. Challenging. Breathe. And then we'll circle sweep that hand to the floor. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Stay for an inhale in cat. Exhale, cow. Coming onto our left side. Left hand, left knee, right arm reaches up. You might gaze up. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under your ribs. Stay for an inhale. Reach back up. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under. Inhale here. Exhale, reach up. One more round. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under. Breathe in. Reach back up. Right arm alongside of the ear, right leg lifts. You might challenge yourself and close your eyes and breathe. And then circle sweep that hand to the floor. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat to child's pose. Hips toward the heels, forehead toward the earth. We'll stay a few breaths here. And then we'll come up onto our knees. If your knees are tender, you can always place a pillow under your knee. We're going to place that right knee down and left foot forward for a low lunge. So there might be a pillow under that right knee. Right arm reaches up. We're going to grab, hold, and interlace our fingers, bending that right elbow. And begin to lean back, but also lean to the left. So leaning back into that form, but also leaning to the left, breathing into the right side body. We'll come back to center, interlace the fingers right behind the head. Wiggle the shoulders down, and again, lean back. And then tuck your tail. And then send your hips slightly forward as you lean back. Maybe you gaze up. And then we'll release this shape and frame that front foot, wiggle our toes forward and straighten that front leg. Right hand might grab the pinky toe edge side of that left foot. You might look forward, lengthen the heart forward. And we'll release the shape, walk our hands to the inside. Swing that left leg back. Step the right foot forward and come up with the left knee down. And then our arms will reach up, bend that left elbow, interlace our fingers, lean back, but also lean to the right. Breathing into that whole left side body. How big could you make your breath here? Come back to center, interlace the fingers behind our head, lengthen our neck, bring those shoulders down, lean back, then tuck your tail under and start sending the hips a little forward. Then we'll release and frame that front foot and straighten the front leg. And maybe the left hand grabs the pinky toe edge side of that right foot, lengthening our heart forward. Hands go to the inside. We'll swing that knee around. We're going to rise all the way up onto both knees on the inhale. Arms sweep up. Exhale, sit back on our heels, palms to the heart. Inhale, sit up on the knees, arms reach up. Exhale, hands and knees. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, down. About 5-10 breaths in down dog. And then knees come down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. And then onto your belly for Sphinx pose. Here in Sphinx pose, the elbows are directly under the shoulders. And we'll do a few little head circles. Begin to notice how that neck is feeling. Maybe there's a spot where it's really tight. It's true for me. If so, stay there and take a few extra breaths. Maybe find another spot, maybe on the other side of the neck that's tight, and stay a few extra. And then come back your head through center, draw your belly in strong back, try to stay high, but lift your arms up, hands up, and then come to fingertips wide. Curl up, inhale, dip your right shoulder, look to the left. Curl up, inhale, dip the left shoulder, look to the right. Curl up, dip right, look left. Curl up, dip left, look right. Then curl up, keep your feet down, lift your hands up. Plant your palms, child's pose. Great, my dears, and then we're gonna come over onto our backs, and we might have a pillow that we place between our knees, and we'll twist to the right. As you twist to the right, we're gonna use this left arm like a snow angel. Here on Whidbey Island, we're full of snow, but it's a lot warmer when we do it in the great room with the fire on than out in the snow. So we'll make our beautiful snow angel here with the left arm. And then somewhere along the way, I bet you feel something in your shoulder, yeah. So we'll stay there and take a few extra breaths in our twist. And then, my dears, we'll come back to center, remove the pillow because we'll stay for a few breaths with our knees bent, feet flat, just to kind of come back to a neutral position. And if you can notice anything subtle or significant as a difference between the sides right now, bring that into your awareness. We'll place the pillow in between the knees again and twist to the left. As you do, kind of hold our knees there, and we'll snow angel that right arm. We'll do that several times until you kind of figure out, okay, right there's my spot, and then you'll stay still and just breathe. Draw the belly lightly in to support the low back in this twist. Might even look to the right or straight up, whatever feels best for your neck. And then my ears will come back to center and just stay a few breaths. Knees bent, feet flat, noticing how your body feels. And then I'm going to do a few passes on this roller. If you have a roller, great. If not, you'll get your yoga tune-up balls ready. We'll take them out of the tote. We're going to start focusing on the low back and work our way up toward the neck. And so as we get our yoga tune-up balls out, or tennis balls, or whatever you got, if you have these really large size balls, you definitely only need one. If you have the smaller, you might use two. So we're going to place either one therapy ball or two on the right side of the low back in pretty close to the spine and up pretty close to that 12th rib, that last rib. And then we'll position it and right ankle, left knee. We'll start to do a few little side to side motions. And if you are as tight as me, maybe you just stay still and use your breath. Try to let that right side of the low back relax. So we're kind of targeting a muscle called quadratus lumborum, or QL. And this muscle gets a lot of work hiking our hips. It tends to be tight on almost everybody universally. So spending some extra time here can be one way to just release a little bit of that low back tension. And it changes pretty dramatically, pretty quickly for my body. And so you might be able to windshield wiper if you weren't able to at first, and just notice if that's true. If it doesn't feel useful, don't do it. How will I know if it feels useful? Well, if there's some tenderness, but it feels like you can breathe through it and it feels like it's actually doing some good, like, you know how if you have a toothache and you put pressure on it and it feels better, we're looking for that sensation, not anything that's sharp or shooting. Or if you stub your toe and it feels better when you put pressure on it and hold it, that's kind of what we're going for here. Then if you're using one ball, you might have to scoot it down a little bit, still in toward the spine. If you have two balls in that vertical way, you might not have to move them. And then notice, as we go lower, I have more ability to windshield wiper my legs. Notice if that's true or not for you. There might be a spot you want to stay and hold for a few extra breaths. And then, before we move the balls, we'll twist again to the left. This time you might straighten that right leg. You can keep the left knee bent. The right leg might go to the floor. And take a few breaths into that right side of the low back where we were just rolling. Right shoulder does not have to be on the ground. And then we're just going to go out. So instead of being right close into the spine, it's a little bit out from there. We'll start up relatively high. And again, right ankle, left knee. Quadratus lumborum attaches to that 12th rib, that last rib. And so anywhere along here, it's pretty much free game for the quadratus lumborum to find a little knot. So if your quadratus lumborum is on the naughty list, maybe we spend some extra time here. And then we'll move that down just a smidge if you're using the one ball. If you have two in that vertical way, should be okay. We'll twist again to the left, perhaps straightening that right leg. Breathing into that right side of the low back. And one more spot, kind of almost to the side waist. Yeah. So just where you can snug that ball underneath. And then maybe half happy baby on this right side is available to you. Or maybe you stay with right ankle, left knee. Or maybe there's another shape that you want to try. And we'll take a few breaths. Got to get the ball kind of in the right spot. You might have to mess with it a little bit. And so I'm moving mine because if I feel something that's kind of too sharp, I don't want that sensation. It's not a helpful or useful sensation. And then we'll release. And again, one last time, twist to the left. Maybe your right leg is straight, or maybe knees are bent and together. Maybe both legs are straight. See what works for you. Then we'll come back to center with our knees bent and our feet flat and take a few breaths. And then we're going to go on the other side. So that left side of the low back up kind of high and pretty close to the spine. Left ankle, right knee. And we'll windshield wiper if possible. Shoo. Just notice how this side feels, if it's different or similar. Or maybe like me, surprisingly tight. Shoo. I usually feel everything on the right side, but that doesn't mean the left side isn't doing all the work to try to keep the right side happy and not in spasm. So again, I might pause and just use my breath. You might have more motion happening. See what's useful for you. Whew. And then perhaps moving the ball down a little bit. And then twisting to the right, you might have that left leg straight. Then the ball goes a little bit out to the left. And we'll have that left ankle on the right knee. Windshield wiper the leg. Notice what's happening here on this side. Maybe you move it down a smidge if you're just using the one ball like I am. And we'll twist again to the right. And then back to center, and we'll have that ball almost to the left side waist, just where you can tuck it under. And then you might be able to come to half happy baby on that left leg, or some other shape that feels useful. And then my ears will twist again. To the right, and your knees can both be bent, legs can both be straight, whatever feels useful. And for the next thing, if we have the two balls, that's better. Yeah. So we'll get both balls out. And as we come back to center, we're going to place both balls just above the low back. And they'll touch each other, and they'll be in close to the spine. And here we'll just gently windshield wiper the legs. So the very lowest part of the mid back. Just feel the kind of natural back bend that starts to happen. And then we're going to wiggle ourselves as we windshield wiper so that the balls roll up. And they're just kind of below bra strap area if you're a human that wears a bra. And if you're not a human that wears a bra, I applaud you. And it's just below the shoulder blades. That's another way to think about it. Inch or so below the shoulder blades. And we'll keep wiggling until they're like right now toward the bottom of the shoulder blades. And we're still windshield wipering or rocking side to side here. And then we'll interlace the fingers behind our head and do a few curl ups. Curl up. Might as well draw the belly in. And then slowly lower back down. Curl up. And slowly lower back. One more, curl up, and slowly lower back down. And then we'll just keep the balls there right below the shoulder blades for a few breaths. If you're just using the one single ball, you could do the other side now as the rest of us kind of breathe here in this bit of a back bend. You might bring your shoulders back and down and kind of squeeze the balls. And then we'll lift our head and we'll roll so the balls are going up and down the length of the shoulder blades. Ooh. Probably a good shoulder blade spot somewhere along that path, my dears, right? So when you find one, we'll just lay there. Take a few really deep breaths. Might be the first deep breath I've taken in a couple days after driving home in the snow yesterday, which was very stressful. And then maybe you move your arms kind of like you're holding an axe. This is a good one for the shoulder blade region. So it's like we're going to swing an axe up overhead and then up over our chest or belly. So we'll do that a few times. And then maybe keep our arms up overhead. Maybe even put a blanket over your feet if your feet are chilly. Oh, stay a few breaths here. And then you can interlace your fingers almost like you're hugging a tree. So they're out in front of you, and then we'll go side to side. Or you could fold your arms over your chest. That's a little bit more pressure. Side to side. See what works for you. You can also keep the butt down but push and pull on the feet. And the balls will just roll like an inch, half an inch up, half an inch down. That's another good one. And then eventually we're going to reach back there and get the balls so they're right up at the parts of the shoulders that are always creeping up by the ears, those upper trapezius. The balls are no longer touching each other. Arms can be up overhead. You can also elevate the hips with a pillow or a block or something here. You could even lift your legs up. That all gives extra pressure here. What I find honestly the most useful is to have my arms up overhead and then shrug my shoulders and try to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Stay a few breaths. And then shrug and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. And the last time, shrug and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. You might even interlace the fingers behind your head and rock your head side to side and let those balls roll up along those upper trapezius muscles that get so tight, so tight. You do a tiny shrug here too, pretty good pressure. And then we'll take the balls out. So the last little kind of position we're going to do, if you have one larger size ball, it goes in the center of the neck. If you have 2 smaller size balls, you might put your pillow under your head and then the balls in that horizontal way at the top, or you could use a block and then the balls. So here, just gently nod yes. And then gently nod no. Kind of find a spot that serves you and feels good on your neck. And if it feels good, straighten your legs. Otherwise, keep your knees bent, feet flat. You straighten your legs, you might reach your arms up overhead and stretch long in two directions for a moment. Relax here, just about 10 more breaths with the balls here. And then my dears will release the ball or balls in Shavasana corpse pose. As you relax in your Shavasana, just noticing where your breath resides, where you might feel energy in the body, where your energy might feel like it's settling. Here, as you rest on the earth, you might begin to cultivate some gratitude. Gratitude for so many blessings here in this life. Gratitude for this amazing land. Gratitude for warmth and shelter on these winter days. Gratitude. Oh, I'm so grateful that the power is on, and that there's heat. So grateful. Gratitude for friendship and family and love. Gratitude for our pets. And gratitude for these bodies exactly as they are, which might be the hardest thing sometimes for us to cultivate. We want to fix, we want to make different, but there's an extreme privilege to have an able body. Extreme privilege that our body just wants to heal, just wants to bring us back to a state of balance. That our body's really good at that. Maybe the more often we bring our body into a state of balance, our mind can also be cultivated in a state of balance. You're ready. We'll make our way back to a seat if you're not already there. And we'll bring our palms to our heart. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Hache, Pas. In the spirit of our collective liberation, we say Ashe, Amin,
Amen. Blessed be. Kapu aloha. In Lakach. Satnam. Namaste. Matakwiasan. Black Lives Matter.